We're back. It's Jared and Bob. This is Sarcasm Speaks. And we just spent the better part of the last 4 hours demoing the attic upstairs. So big shout out to Finn, Jimo, Bill. That's it, right? Outside of us.
Yeah, it was just the six of us.
For coming to help. For all friends of the show, all been on before. My Lord, that was quite the experience.
It was a fucking thing.
There were 6 of us in total. We worked for about 4 hours. We started around roughly 11, and we called it a day at like 3. So the other guys, they had to go in Boston. I don't know. They had dinner plans or something.
I thought it was hysterical. They asked me if I wanted to go. I fucking hate Boston.
Yeah.
Never mind. It's like I just lost like 7 pounds in sweat.
Yes, easily.
No, I don't want to go to Boston. I hate Boston.
Yes.
Never mind the fact that like I'm probably going to look at a dark and stormy later and fucking fall over.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for that. I can't wait. I thought about pouring one for this podcast, but I figured I should probably keep my wits about me, for the same reason.
Well, again, we could have just looked at it.
Yeah, halfway through this episode, I'd be speaking in cursive.
I wouldn't be able to drive home.
Yeah. Oh man. So it's interesting though, and I know, so obviously we've been doing this podcast long enough where we've had other projects that we've done like around our house when we had it and all kinds of shit. And like we've sat here and we'll be like, imagine like doing that every day for like your life as a job. And we say that every time and then we kind of just forget it. And then like something else like this comes up and we're like,
sucks fucking
imagine
dicks.
doing this every day, because we did a half of one day's work, 4 hours. We spent, there were 6 of us. So we got everything is demo. And actually Bill, I think it was Bill, made an awesome point that demo is.
It took 5 minutes to demo upstairs.
Demo is really like 7% demoing.
No way.
And 93% cleaning up.
I don't think those percentages are correct.
Yeah.
So we probably I think we did put in a solid 4 hours.
Yeah.
Because it was a little before and after. So that's what, 240 minutes?
Yeah.
I think literal demo. Maybe
20 minutes?
No, not even 10 of that. 4%. 4%.
Yeah.
I'll round it up to 5.
Yeah.
5% of the work was demo.
Yeah.
Everything else was fucking cleaning up.
Yep. Yeah.
Unless, I guess, because when you say demo, I don't think like pulling insulation. Because pulling insulation was probably 95% of the work.
Yeah,
Or
and that
pulling and
sucked.
bagging insulation was all the work.
Yeah, and that fucking sucked. That was the worst part.
Yeah, and especially because it's insulation, so it's like, you want to cover your eyes. You want to cover your face. We have the fucking suits on.
Right. Yeah, we had the fucking hazmat suits.
And it's like...
Thanks to North Attleboro Public Schools for those.
Jesus Christ, you're fucking dying. Like the goggles, I barely even wore them because I couldn't see.
Yeah, they kept fogging up and steaming. And we all had headlamps on, but like it didn't matter because the goggles are fogged and you can't see anything. And it's like... Yeah, it's fucking... There's one window up there. It was open.
Didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. It was just... But it's funny because we got... So, in a half a day's work with 6 people, we got the entire thing demoed and roughly half of it cleaned up. So if we had like another 2 hours, I think in 6 hours we could have done the entire attic. Like, it would have been, like, done.
Yeah, because some of that shit was disappearing pretty quick.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, is, like, I could have kept going, but I'm like, dude, with 3 of us.
Yeah.
Like, so, okay, so I'll throw it down the stairs, then you have to schlep it all over here to Amy, and Amy's going to throw it all out the window.
Right.
And then all 3 of us have to go down and fucking throw it in the dumpster.
Right.
Fuck that.
Right. So... we got that. Those fucking Tyvek suits, man. I have never sweat.
I don't think I've ever
more
sweat that much
in my entire life. So we pretty much broke it up in like half-hour blocks.
It was just too fucking hot.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to keep going, but... Well, that was the other thing, too, is, like, I'm up there, and so, things that we've done is the bathroom in the old house and the trash from the attic. Like, dismantling the pool table, dismantling that bar, and throwing it all out, like, all that shit.
Right.
And it's like, I've never covered up.
Yeah.
And, like, this time I'm like, fuck, we're dealing with insulation. Who the fuck knows what's in these walls? Which actually, no real walls came down.
Right.
Not real walls.
Right.
But I'm like, fuck, I'll stay covered up. I'm like, I wanted to. So I just wanted to say fuck it so badly. I would have been fucking dead, though.
Yeah. I also found out the hard way. Apparently, those gloves, when they get wet, they're less resistant to fucking insulation, because by the end my hands were starting to get itchy.
Would you have the cotton ones?
Yeah, the ones with like the tack on the palm side, and they were cotton on the back.
Oh.
And they were fucking soaked. Everything is drenched. Like I said, I've never sweat that much in my entire fucking life.
I think so I think all 7 pounds that I lost are in my shirt too.
Yeah, my boots were wet.
Like, I don't even want to throw those shoes back on. Yeah. I just want to throw them in the fucking trash.
Yeah, you might as well just walk out barefoot.
Like, I should just drive home and I'll put my golf shoes on.
Yeah, there you go.
Those are in better shape than these fucking things.
Oh, man, there's just shit everywhere. But there were no casualties within the first 5 minutes.
So
Jimo fucking stepped on a giant nail.
Yep, right through his shoe.
Right through his shoe.
The funny thing, no one saw this. So we started, and Finn immediately took the sledgehammer and just started ripping down the wall.
Yeah.
So, you can't see great. I got the goggles on. I got a mask on. And I go over there, and I'm trying to, like, rip away some of the siding. And he had hit a stud, and it had broke, but it was still attached at the top. And that fucking impaled me right in the back.
Nice.
So I don't think it bled.
Yeah.
No, it definitely didn't bleed. We checked that.
Right.
So I don't think it broke skin, because I would be bleeding.
Right.
But boy, did that not fucking feel good.
Yeah.
That was about fucking 2 seconds into demo.
Yeah. So everything happened early.
Yep.
Which, if you were if you were following it, you'd be like, oh boy, this isn't going to go well. But we got it out of the way early.
You got to ease into it.
And then we got it done early, and there were no more problems. Finn almost fell off the fucking ladder.
Well, this is the best part, is the person that you wouldn't expect to, or the person that, like, if we were making a power rankings, Finn would be drafted probably. Actually, I would draft Jimo last.
Probably, yeah.
But Finn, you would think, Finn, like, right off the bat, because he's fucking goofy and he's Finn, he would be like your last pick.
You're right.
Except when you actually think about it, Finn's fine.
Right.
But the problem is he's still Finn. So a couple things that he did. He almost fell off the ladder at one point.
Yep.
The wood paneling was covering the stairs. He stepped on the wood paneling and almost fell down the stairs.
Yeah, that's right. He goes, oh, that's not stairs.
Yep.
Yeah. He almost pulled a fucking Wile E. Coyote, walked right off the fucking cliff. Like, straight through the fucking thing. Jeez. Just don't look down.
Yeah.
You won't. Everyone knows you only fall if you look down.
His hand was bleeding because he was punching the paneling out.
Yep.
And his suit was all fucking hacked to pieces.
It was all
after the
ripped.
first half hour.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He was covered in dirt. At one point, we were leaving. He was walking like away, and someone goes, "Finn, why is the back of your neck filthy?" And he goes, "I don't know." And he like touches it, and he goes, "Oh, probably from doing this," because he is like keeps touching his neck.
But the kicker is, so we do our first break. He grabs some waters from his car, whatever. We go back up. We come back down. He goes, oh, I wonder where I put my keys. It's like, shit. What we're doing. So up there, not only is all the contents of the walls are on the floor.
Right.
We're bagging and throwing shit in the dumpster.
Right.
And he's he had to use his keys to get to his car.
Right.
So he has the keys somewhere.
Right.
He goes, whatever, they'll turn up.
Yeah.
You know, go back up, come back down, look around. Can't find them.
I go in his car. You came over
Yep.
too. The two of us are looking through his car.
Yep. Then we're like, oh, they must be up on the table upstairs. Wherever everyone put their stuff there. Nope. Not there.
Nothing's there.
Lo and behold,
Yeah.
he's digging around his suit. And they were down at the fucking ankle of his suit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where they fell out of his pocket, but stayed in his suit.
Yep.
So
And he has this like little. It's like the
it's
little
a jean pocket.
It's the little tiny jean
like
pocket.
the coin pocket on
Yeah.
jeans. Like
Yeah, he puts a key in there.
Like what the fuck are you doing?
So he finds it at the bottom, like in the bottom pant leg of his suit, like down tucked in there. So he pulls it out and goes, "Oh, I found it." This is like an hour and a half after we've been looking for the key. It's fine. Don't worry. It's a fucking plastic table. And he finally finds it and he goes, "Oh, yeah." Everyone's like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, what the fuck, Finn?" So then he takes it and he goes, "Oh, I'm just going to put it back," and puts it back in the pocket.
No.
And I go, "What are you doing? Don't do that." And he goes, "Why? It's perfectly safe in there. That's where I keep it all the time." And I go, "It literally fell out of that fucking pocket earlier."
and was not safe like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, that's right." I told him to go put it in the ignition. I go, "Just leave it in the ignition. This is North Attleboro. No one's going to fucking steal your car."
Yeah, put it with the cigarettes. Like you'll never lose those.
Yeah.
Said it to you. I'm like, I liked it better when he just would lose his hat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I said too. And I go, "Wherever you put your key, don't leave it with your hat." Because you fucking lost that thing like 4 times at our house over like the 3.5 years that we were there. I feel like I'm not going to be able to drink enough water for like 3 days.
There's no amount of water that's gonna bring us back.
No.
Because like, what did they used to teach us in school? It was like if you would weigh yourself before an activity and after.
Yeah.
And whatever pound of weight that you lost, you would have to drink so many ounces.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that ounces was?
I don't.
I know it's a shitload.
Yeah.
I bet you that you and I would probably have to drink 3 gallons of water today. 2 gallons of water today and probably 3 tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
to get back.
It was when we first went up, or so we came down after our first break, and we're a little sweaty because like we've only been up
I was
there.
very sweaty.
We thought, yeah, that's the thing. We thought we were very sweaty then during the first break, and I was like, I kind of have to pee, but like not that bad. I'll just go up. I'll pee later, whatever. So then we go up for another half hour, and the second break, I was like, I don't have to pee anymore.
It just evaporated. It went back up from your bladder.
Yeah. It was like, what the fuck?
Your body's like, I need this.
Yeah, hey, can we pull that water back?
Yeah.
Oh man, and it was literally like everything was just drenched,
Soaking wet, too.
I feel like I was more wet than if I had jumped in a pool. Like somehow I was more wet than like if I was in a body of water.
I believe my shirt is entirely soaked. It is not. There isn't a dry area. Because at one point it was like on the sides was like a little bit dry. Mm-hmm. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. So I'm looking. Well, it's a good thing too because I was looking at the weather, and this week's going to be really hot.
Yeah.
So at least we don't have to be in the attic that much. This like Amy and I will have to go up tomorrow, and we'll probably try. I will probably try and finish it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fucking psycho. But even if I have to do it like alone,
gotta get it done.
yeah, and that's the thing. It has to be done. So it's not like this. Like I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah, no shit. I don't want to do this anymore. Like I don't want to do any of this, but like I have to, so I don't get to bitch about it.
Never mind. If you're up early, you just fucking go up there and just start making stacks.
Yeah.
Like anything that doesn't make any noise. And then at 9 a.m.,
Yeah.
no, not a second later,
Yeah.
shit starts flying.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like I'm going to have to make another trip to like Lowe's and get new gloves because we just threw all the gloves. Like we threw everything away. We're like, this is fucking gross.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, just go across the street.
Yeah.
There's a,
I
saw one.
There's a Dollar Tree over there. Yeah. I'll do that. and then go to the liquor store because the liquor store's across the street too.
Yep. That store any good? Looks big.
Yeah, it's a good spot. They get a lot of stuff there. Good prices too. They're better prices on wine. Like their wine is cheaper. Some of the bourbon, like some of the brands are cheaper. You know, like I think Knob Creek is a lot cheaper there than other places. But like, I don't know, like Blanton's is still the same price. You know, like random shit.
Yeah, so they must just get cases.
Yeah. So some stuff is cheaper than other places, but other stuff is right along the same lines.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. I totally lost my train of thought.
I don't know. We kind of closed up with the attic. The attic's, I mean,
Yeah.
covered that.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you know all the bullshit that's going on about John McAfee? Have you heard about that?
He's dead.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what? You just start because I'm not going to go with like the pieces.
Yeah. So there's this thing. So we've talked about Jerry News before. There's this other one called Roca Wave or Roca News, whatever. They're another one that's just like Jerry News. They're like unpartisan, like just the facts, whatever. So they posted this on Instagram, and it's the life of John McAfee. So the beginning of his life, he started McAfee antivirus software. Yes. He started working for, I forget what it was. It was some computer company. I don't think it was Microsoft, but it was some big company, maybe like Dell or Intel or something. So anyway, he eventually starts McAfee antivirus, becomes a bajillionaire. And then, so where this picks up right here is in 2008, software entrepreneur John McAfee moved to Belize. So he's had a really fucking crazy life. And this is where shit starts to get weird. So claiming to have had his $100 million fortune reduced to just $4 million during the recession. He chose Belize, he said, because its people spoke English. Wow, my brain is not going to function well today. It had great beaches, it was raw and in your face, and U.S. lawsuits wouldn't reach him there, so they don't have extradition to the United States in Belize. He set up cigar manufacturing, coffee distribution, and water taxi companies. He also launched a company with a Harvard biologist he met who was searching for rainforest plants to use as antibiotics, building her a lab in the jungle. So I don't know. It sounds like he had a lot more than $4 million to do all this, but whatever.
Yeah. Unless like money in Belize is like the fucking peso.
Yeah. Soon after, he fell in love with a gun-toting 16-year-old girl named Amy Emschwiller. He said she was crazy. She tried to kill him. She tried to kill him once, but the bullet missed. But he didn't care. He left his girlfriend of 12 years and built Amy a house in a nearby village. So, like, he falls in love with this 16-year-old girl who tries to fucking kill him, but he doesn't care, and he builds her a house instead.
What a cliche.
Yeah. This is in Belize, by the way. Emschwiller told McAfee horror stories about crime and gangs in the village, which he came to call the most corrupt village on the planet. He hired an army of police and equipped them with M16s. McAfee, equipped with a pistol, became a vigilante, pulling over suspicious cars, hunting for drug dealers, and threatening the families of criminals. So he just, like, I don't know, wants to become like Batman in Belize, I guess.
Yes.
Except he's using guns. Batman doesn't like guns. Locals said the village was nothing like the drug trafficking center McAfee believed, but he became increasingly paranoid. He thought gangs and the police were hunting him, and he thought pharmaceutical companies were spying on his antibiotic lab. He hired security guards and acquired an arsenal. The police started showing up at his house, believing he was selling drugs. Then his dogs mysteriously died. Soon after, his neighbor was found dead, shot in the head. The police named him a person of interest in the investigation. He fled to Mexico and eventually Guatemala, where a Vice reporter accidentally shared his location, resulting in his arrest. So now we're getting to, like, real shit. So he was deported to Belize, but not charged, and then largely fell off the public radar. A U.S. court later ordered him to pay $25 million to the neighbor's family, because, apparently. I don't know why the United States courts are getting involved in something that happened in Belize, but whatever. He was arrested in the United States for a DUI in 2015, then for high caliber weapons possession in the Dominican Republic. He made money promoting cryptocurrencies and through speaking engagements, and in 2016 he ran for the Libertarian presidential nomination. In parentheses, he lost.
Probably couldn't even beat Vermin Supreme.
Yeah. So in October, McAfee was arrested in Spain while boarding a flight to Turkey. The U.S. had him charged with a number of crimes, including tax evasion. And at the time, he tweeted, "Know that if I hang myself a la Epstein, it will be no fault of mine." So then this is an actual tweet that he sent out last October from jail. So real tough jail that he's tweeting from. I am
definitely not federal pound me in the ass prison.
Yeah, no. Well, he's in Spain, so. I am content in here. I have friends. The food is good. All is well. Know that if I hang myself a la Epstein, it will be no fault of mine. That was his tweet from Spanish jail. This past Thursday, Spain agreed to extradite him to the United States. Within hours, he was found dead by an apparent suicide. The life of John McAfee has ended, but its mystique has not. So this guy is a fucking psychopath. He's living like this insanely fucking wild life. It's not really known whether or not he killed his neighbor, but his neighbor ended up dead. He gets charged with all kinds of stuff, ends up in jail in Spain, says, "I like it here. I have no plans on killing myself." And the day, literally within hours of him being scheduled to be extradited to the United States for U.S. jail shit, he is hanged. He apparently committed suicide. So
how are the Clintons involved?
I don't know, but they must be somehow.
Obviously, they're the ones killing people.
Yeah. So I have no idea, but it's super fucking interesting because this is a case where he literally came out and was like, "I have no plans on fucking killing myself."
Someone's gonna try to kill me in jail
and make it look like I committed suicide. And then he's dead from apparent suicide.
Do you remember what he had? He had something on people.
Did he?
He definitely had. So he 100% did.
Yeah.
And probably in 2019, probably around the time of his arrest, he did threaten to expose. I assume who else would you expose? It's politicians.
It's politicians. Yeah. I would also imagine a guy that invented an antivirus software would probably be pretty good at making viruses and acquiring information.
You would think.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did have some information on somebody. But yeah, that is interesting to find out which politicians he might have had something on. Because if you look at it from that standpoint, it's this guy is in jail in Spain. He's now just got authorized to be extradited to the United States. Well, what do you think he's going to do when he gets to the United States? He's going to start talking because they're going to try and charge him with all this shit, like all these different crimes. And if you're being charged with all of these, this is what happens. You share information that you have and you cut a deal. So, say they get him on drug charges, tax evasion, and all this other shit, and it ends up he ends up with a total of 40 years in jail. Well, if he can share some information about some shady doings of some politician or some, prominent family somewhere in the country, maybe he gets sentenced to 15 years and he's eligible for parole after 5. It's one of those deals. So I don't necessarily think that it was because I've heard other people talk about it and they think it was the U.S. government. They're like, oh, the government whacked him. And I don't believe that. Because the government wants to process him and charge him for crimes. You know, they wouldn't just whack him.
That's what they want you to think.
Yeah.
That's the cover-up.
Well, what I think is, like I said just now, is that it's someone, maybe the Clinton family, maybe potentially. Wow, I think I got some insulation in my lungs there. But it's someone that would have been compromised if he were to get charged. Like I said, you know, if he's facing 30, 40 years in jail, but he can, you know, share some information that maybe shuts down a bunch of human trafficking rings, or, you know, he sheds light on some weird conspiracy for some, you know, whatever it is. And the government can take those people down. It's enough to shave time off of a sentence. So I am more in the camp of it is some powerful person and or family that got him whacked versus like straight up the government.
Yeah, I'm trying to run through his Twitter right now, and I can't find anything that he like seems to be like. He's involved in crypto a little bit, but I don't know how that's an issue.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find what he maybe could be getting at. I can't find it right now.
Yeah. What's that? This might be a DuckDuckGo search. Because I just typed in, who did John McAfee have dirt on in Google, and it's all just like, the final years of John McAfee's life, rumors surrounding John McAfee's death, the tumultuous life of John McAfee. I'm going to try DuckDuckGo. See, who did John McAfee have dirt on?
He did. This is pretty funny. I have a new cellmate. In 3 days, using boxes, string, and toothpaste for glue, he's built bookcases, holders, and a host of things. If we turn this fucker loose in a hardware store, I think we'd have a teleporter in short order.
All right, so this is great. This is just another example. If people aren't familiar with DuckDuckGo and how ridiculous Google is, so everyone knows Google is full of shit. They're biased. They're fucking, you know, they're not straightforward. All that happy horse shit. So I typed in, who did John McAfee have dirt on in Google? And I just read the highlights for all of this shit. Some of the other ones are larger than life software mogul John McAfee dies. Widow says antivirus pioneer John McAfee was not suicidal. Antivirus pioneer John McAfee, quote, hangs himself after he was to be extradited. John McAfee, software entrepreneur, found dead in whatever. That's it. So that's all Google. So I go to DuckDuckGo and I typed in the exact same thing. Who did John McAfee have dirt on? The very first article that pops up. John McAfee most likely didn't have dirt on anyone, but, and then the headline tails off. So if you guys didn't know, Google is a bunch of fucking bullshit. Now you know Google is a bunch of bullshit. So this is the title. John McAfee most likely didn't have dirt on anyone, but his high profile made him the perfect target to be made an example of for those who might. There you go. I just got the answer to my question from one title on the first hit on DuckDuckGo.
Well, there we have it.
Yeah.
Fuck Google. My phone's listening to me. I don't know how that's going to work.
So there's all kinds of stuff it talks about. Like there's something called the Panama Papers that like talked about some sketchy shit. It exposed illegal money operations of some of the wealthiest people in the world. Oh, wow. Get this. So I'll just read this one little tiny paragraph. If you remember, not that long ago, there was a release of documents known as the Panama Papers. It exposed the illegal money operations of some of the wealthiest people in the world. But not long after, the outspoken journalist named Daphne Ann Caruana Galiza, wow, she got 4 names, who was working on the Panama Papers, was killed in a car bomb attack.
You don't say.
Yep. The car bombing was a clear message being sent to others who might have thought about pursuing the Panama Papers further.
Huh.
Yep.
When did he die?
Last Thursday. So not like 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah. Yeah.
If I can pull it up, I'll keep looking, but...
So he never came out and said who, but he frequently boasted about having dirt on people who were very powerful people in the world.
You don't say.
Yeah. So he could have actually, or he could have just been full of shit and been like, oh, I got dirt. I could release information that would compromise some of the most powerful and influential people in the world. And even if he doesn't, the fact that he says that is enough for those people to want him dead. Because, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way for those powerful and influential people probably to prove whether or not he does or doesn't have that information. But just his claim is enough for them to be like, we got to get rid of this guy.
Fuck. Yeah, I definitely can't find it. Fuck.
So there you go.
I don't know. He was running his mouth about something.
Yeah.
But it was a while ago. Now he's dead.
And his widow says that he was not suicidal, is insistent that he was not suicidal. And he also tweeted it. So now, like, on the other end of this argument here, like, these people aren't even I use these people as like a very general term, but like these people like aren't even trying to hide it anymore.
No.
They're literally just killing people in the open, and they don't give a fuck.
Yep.
Because they know they can get away with it.
Yeah. They probably will, again, because who's going to investigate it? U.S.
Right.
government. Who's on the side of against McAfee? So they'll just Mickey Mouse it.
Right. Right.
Oh,
And-
yeah, no, we can't figure it out.
Yeah, it's inconclusive.
Yep.
The guards fell asleep,
Yeah.
just like the Epstein thing. He was supposed to be under like 24-hour surveillance, and the one fucking second that he supposedly hung himself was the guards fell asleep.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, that seems right. Both guards. There's 2 guards.
Uh-huh.
They both fell asleep at
Right.
the same time.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, that one was still kind of like tried to be, I feel like, hidden, but it was
This is just obvious.
this one is just like, yeah, no, we fucking killed him.
Well, especially now because we're all high alert.
Right, because of Epstein.
Right. And so now it's like, you know, some people are saying, like, if they're questionable, then they're like, yeah, I don't plan on hanging myself. It's like, all right, he killed himself in his cell.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like, he literally said he was not going to do that.
Yeah.
And he said, if I hang myself, know that I didn't do it.
Right.
And then he dies by fucking hanging himself.
Yep. Yeah, so whoever is doing this is just not even trying anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. This is right up there with, there was a person, I forget. So, Dan Holloway from the Drinking Bros has another podcast with Dakota Meyer called The American Party. And this past week, they did an episode that was titled The Many Murders of Hillary Clinton, or like the Clinton family or whatever. And one of them was it's not funny because they killed somebody, but it's hilarious reading the death report because it was ruled this one, whoever, I forget who it was, but there was one person that was involved with the Clintons that was ruled a suicide. And do you know how they died?
Couldn't tell you.
They had not one, but 2 gunshot wounds to the back of their head.
Well, everyone knows. Yeah, you take 2 guns, go to the back,
Yeah.
and pull them both at the same time.
So this person died from 2 gunshot wounds to the back of their head, and it was ruled a suicide. So for me, the John McAfee thing is right up there with that.
Yeah.
Like, how is this not obvious to people? What's
Yeah,
going on?
especially because that's called execution style,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
suicide style.
Yeah. And there was 2 people that were murdered. They literally went year by year. And there were 2 people that were involved with the Clintons that died in 1994 within like 6 months of each other from a single gunshot wound behind the left ear. So they both died the exact same way.
Coincidence, dude.
And they were both like related to, in some way or another, like some sort of like shady information on the Clintons.
That's just a coincidence.
Yeah. Fucking wild, man. Like, there's shit like I said, if anyone out there is listening that you're interested, it's the podcast is called American Party, and the episode title is the many murders of the Clintons. You can't miss it. They just spend a whole hour-long podcast. They like,
Yeah, what was that
going
episode
through.
called? The one that they talk about
Yeah.
when the Clintons killed a bunch of people? Oh, got it.
Yeah, they're also not trying to hide that either, too. Like, they're just like, fuck it. We don't care. So, the other thing is, have you, I don't know if maybe you got any of this at the gym with people, the whole Jon Stewart thing on the Colbert Report? No, no one was talking about that. I feel like Crazy Paul would have loved that. But, so, Jon Stewart, pretty liberal guy, right? Used to run the Daily Show.
Yep.
And him and Colbert are buddies. He actually got Colbert started and got him the Colbert Report, which at the time was like satire. Like, it was funny. It was on Comedy Central. Like, it was funny. He was great. He ends up moving over to whatever show he has on CBS. The night, is it the Tonight Show? I don't know.
I don't know
Whatever.
what the late was.
Now he's a huge bitch. So last week, Jon Stewart goes on, I think it's the Tonight Show with Stephen Colbert, and they're talking about the coronavirus. And Jon Stewart goes, you know, I'm paraphrasing all this, but he was like, I think we have to acknowledge and be thankful for science, because science helped us get through the coronavirus and get through this pandemic that was most likely created by science. And then Colbert starts like flipping out, like, wait, we don't know that. And he goes, no. Listen to this. We have a novel coronavirus that is loose in Wuhan, China. Maybe we should ask the guys that work at the novel coronavirus lab in Wuhan, China. And he goes, the name of the virus is the same name as the lab. And at this point, Colbert is flipping out because he's like, we don't know that for sure. Like, if you have proof, like, I would love to talk about it. And Jon Stewart's like, he just keeps talking over him.
Yeah.
And then Jon Stewart goes, let's see. There's been an outbreak of chocolatey goodness in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Where do you think we should check? Maybe the chocolate factory. Like, it's like
That doesn't make
this
sense.
whole thing, and the whole thing is amazing because Colbert is like flipping out. Like he's like, because he's a bitch now. He's been turned into a bitch by corporate media.
Yeah.
And now he's been clipped, essentially. His wings have been clipped because if he says anything against, what the liberal zeitgeist is, he will probably just get fired. But Jon Stewart comes on and goes, "Fuck this. I'm just going to say what everyone's thinking." And everyone flipped out and everyone loved it. And now you're getting your people, your right-wing people that are like propping up Jon Stewart now, which
Yeah.
if we're not living in fucking Bizarro world.
Yeah.
Like all these people are like, "See, I told you, even Jon Stewart knows." And now like the liberal media is like shitting all over Jon Stewart. And it's like, well, that's funny because probably like the minute before he goes on the Colbert show or the Tonight Show, whatever, if you had asked any of them what they thought, they'd be like, "Oh, Jon Stewart's a great guy.
Yep.
Oh, he's phenomenal. He's a trailblazer in our media industry, and we love him." But then he says that one thing, and now everyone's like, "Oh, well, Jon Stewart doesn't know what he's talking about. This is why we can't listen to celebrities."
Yep.
That's what people are saying now. "Oh, this is why we can't listen to celebrities."
Except when the celebrities say what they want, and
Yeah.
then we should listen to the celebrities.
Yeah, yeah.
No, they're actually right. We shouldn't listen to celebrities. It's just all the time, not when it's fucking convenient for you.
Right, exactly. You fucking piece of shit. So I thought that was great. I really enjoyed watching that clip.
Yeah, it's just too bad. Like his like thought process like doesn't make any sense. It's like, we have this like new type of coronavirus going around. We have a lab that researches it, but like let's not talk to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's not let them figure it out.
Yeah, definitely not. And we'll just ask them nicely and be like, "Hey, did you guys maybe leave a window open? Or like, maybe something leaked out?" And they say, "No, of course not. It wasn't us." Well, we have to trust them because they said no.
Yeah.
They said no. It's just like, when you ask a 6-year-old if they stole and ate all the cookies and the 6-year-old says no, well, we have to believe him because he said no. It's the same idea. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Children.
Yeah. Everyone is just fucking stupid. It's never been more apparent how fucking dumb and like willingly dumb people are. It's just fucking...
Might not be willingly. They might not know. They might not realize how dumb they are. Because like a lot of people think they're smart.
That's true.
It's kind of unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate, actually.
Like people, like there's a lot of people out there that definitely more than 5% of people think they're intelligent.
Yeah. But less than 5% of people are actually intelligent.
Yeah, like there's definitely not that many intelligent people.
No.
And the proportion of people who think they're intelligent compared to those that actually are is very few and far between.
Yeah. You know what's funny is the people that are actually intelligent, if you ask them, they probably would say no.
Right.
Like, "Do you think you're one of the most intelligent people ever?" And they'd be like, "Well, probably not." Because they're just like not... You know what I mean? Because they understand...
They're smart enough to be modest about it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Because then if you go, "Yeah, I kind of am."
Yeah.
Oh, listen to this guy. What a prick.
Right.
Arrogant.
Yeah, it's arrogant prick.
Yeah.
So that's...
Can't fucking win with anybody.
No, you
It's
can't.
Amazing.
You can't. But
Really fucking amazing.
most people suck. I suck, certainly.
I fucking definitely suck, but I also see how badly everyone else sucks. Boy, do they.
So one more thing before we wrap this up. We got a victory lap to take.
All right, I love fucking victory laps.
So
We're right about so many things.
I mean, we're fucking intelligent.
Nah.
No, not even close. We're just good at saying shit, of making shit up, I guess. Then it comes true.
Well, speak for yourself. I don't say things unless I'm right.
Yeah, that is very true. So I don't know when we talked about this, but I do know specifically we had a conversation in the past on this show about education and how the education system sucks. Like I spent
we've had many conversations about this.
Yeah, about how, but it was one in particular where like I railed on the education system and how fucked up it is and how bad everything really is and why I think it's awful. And I had said that what is gonna take and or to fix it or to like get things going is you're gonna have to have privately funded schools.
Yep.
And at the time, I had mentioned an example of like, this is the Amazon school. So like Amazon pays for like the salaries and everything at this school. Maybe the kids get an internship at Amazon, whatever. And then there's like an Apple school. And then there's like a Home Depot school. Like these massive mega corporations pour money into like a private education system.
Yeah.
And then it could eventually work as like a feeder program into their company.
Right.
Well, shortly after that, or it might have been because of this that we brought it up and that I had that thought, but LeBron James announced that he was starting his own school for kids in Akron.
Yep.
So it's completely funded by LeBron. It's a private school. They all get like special whatever kinds of education specific to whatever's going on there. And like I said, I can't remember if we had the conversation prior to that happening or after or right around the same time, but that is one example of it. And now we have many more that are come out. So more recently, and I think the push from this is from the coronavirus, from the pandemic, when people, because having all the kids be remote learning, I think parents and people in general are like recognized how fucking awful the education system actually is. So now they're trying to do something about it, which is like, this is perfect. Like, this is why I love like private industry and like the market shall correct forever, like self-correct more often than not. You do need some kinds of regulation and shit, but more often than not, the market is going to fucking self-correct everything. So, Tim Kennedy, Tim Kennedy,
MMA fighter.
Yeah, former MMA fighter, also like Green Beret or Navy SEAL, Ranger. I don't fucking know. He's like the baddest man on the fucking planet. He is starting a school, his own school in Austin, Texas. And it's going to be private. I think he's funding, or he's secured some kind of funding. But it's a school, but he's going to be running it. He's going to set the curriculum. He's going to do all this. He wants to teach kids like real life skills. And because he's a fucking badass, and I don't know if he's a Ranger or a Green Beret. I don't know. He's in Special Forces. He wants to incorporate outdoor skills and survival skills and preparedness and all of this stuff into school.
Yep.
So anyone that goes to his school, it costs X amount of dollars a year, and he's going to set the curriculum and teach them like real education stuff, but then also like life stuff.
Yeah.
So perfect. I love this. Bravo, Tim Kennedy. I hope more people start to do it. And I think they are, because last week, so Tim Kennedy announced that like maybe a month ago. Last week, George Clooney just came out and said he's going to be starting his own school that helps kids build into their Hollywood careers. So if you have, so for all of these schools, I don't know the ages. Like, I don't know if Tim Kennedy's going to have like an elementary, middle, and high school as a whole thing, or he just has a high school, or he just does like 8 to 12. Like, I don't know the age range. Same thing with Clooney. But like, maybe Clooney does like 8 to 12, or 6 to 12. And you have a kid that's in like 7th or 8th grade that identifies like they really want to be an actor, a Hollywood actor, or maybe they want to be a movie producer, or whatever it is. They can pay to go to George Clooney's school, and on top of, their math, science, English, history, you're going to get catered towards movie production or TV production, or this is how you write a screenplay, or this is how to act. Like, they would have classes for specifically that. And this is it. Like, I think this is the beginning of the change. And I think it was accelerated by the pandemic. Like I said, with people seeing how shitty the education system actually is when their kids are home with them all day long. I think this is the impetus for people that have the means, like Tim Kennedy and George Clooney and LeBron James, to actually do something about it.
It's about fucking time.
Yeah, it is about fucking time. And I hope it continues, and I hope more people, essentially more rich people, really, I hope they all start doing this too.
Well, and then the only other thing that we need is either the career industries or the colleges need to also recognize this stuff. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you go to Elon Musk's entrepreneurial school,
right,
and hopefully Harvard recognizes
right
those students.
Right. Ideally, yeah.
Yeah, or Stanford Business, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think at first there might be some pushback.
I think there will be, but some of these schools, I mean, because all these schools are so liberal.
Yeah.
You would think that they have to be open to such things.
Right.
Because wouldn't that be a very conservative approach to be like, that isn't traditional school?
Yeah.
Like, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way things are going now, conservatives are liberal, liberals are conservative. Because the liberals are like, if you don't think like me, I hate you. And the conservatives are now the ones that are like, well, you know, let's have a discussion about it.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
It used to be the total opposite. Like, it used to be like the conservatives are like the Bible thumping fucking anti-abortion people. And the liberals are like, well, let's have an educated discussion on it. And now it's the total opposite. Now it's the liberals are like, you either think like me or you're a Nazi. And then the conservatives are like, well, you know, I'm open to discussing this with you and maybe we'll learn something from it. Like, it's done a total flip.
It's kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Well, because I was even listening to a kid at the gym today, and I don't know what the fuck he was talking about, but, like, he went on and on about this, like, Hawaii Day or Hawaii something.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, the lays and the hula skirts. He's like, it fetishizes and whatever. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go.
Right?
You didn't have to go.
Yeah, don't go.
Because I try to, like, you know, make sure that's like, you know, none of that. I'm like, dude.
This is part of the problem there is people, and this goes back to people that tying in earlier, people thinking that they're intelligent. People think that their opinions matter.
And they don't.
And they don't. So, like, gone are the days where it's like, if you don't like something, you just fucking don't get yourself involved with it. Like, if you don't like a TV show, you don't watch it. If you don't like a part, like a luau party that your high school is throwing, don't go to it. But now you can't do that anymore. It's, well,
here's my platform.
Here is how I feel about this. Well, no one gives a fuck how you feel about it. Truthfully. Like, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah. And never mind, like, a fucking a luau party. You're ignoring the whole purpose of the party.
Yeah, it's just to have fun.
Go and have fun.
Yeah.
Which clearly you aren't interested in, so fuck off.
Right.
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, you can unkindly fuck yourself.
Yeah, you can suck a fat cock, too.
It's like just stupid shit. But that, like I said, like that's like a liberal mindset now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They've completely flipped from 20 years ago.
I mean, also, I don't want to give conservatives too much credit because depending on the topic,
well, yeah,
then you're completely unreasonable.
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
I think all people are completely unreasonable now.
I think so.
It's just how you're going to be completely unreasonable changes depending on your beliefs.
Yeah, yeah. So the funny thing is, because we can't just rip liberals, we have to also rip
I want to rip
conservatives
everybody.
here.
I want to make sure we're ripping everybody.
Yeah,
liberals are easier.
Right. But, you know, this is great, too, that... So conservatives have been ripping Kamala Harris since she took over as vice president.
Yeah.
And since Biden named her in charge of the border crisis, everyone's like, she hasn't been to the border. She hasn't been to the border. She's not going to the border. She's not going. She hasn't been. She went to fucking Guatemala. She's not going to the border. She never been. So this past week, she finally, and everyone is saying it took like 93 days or whatever the fuck.
Wow.
Since
How dare she?
93 days since she was appointed like in charge of this or whatever. So probably, what is that, sometime in March? She was appointed as like, you have to fix the border crisis.
To give her a little bit of credit, it's not the only thing she's
Correct.
charge of.
Correct. So that's the thing. So this is also why conservatives are being unreasonable. So finally this week she goes to the border in Texas, but she goes to El Paso, which is like more near Arizona.
Yep.
And truthfully, I'm not too familiar about the border. I only know what is on what people
Which
talk
you can
about.
never trust.
Right. So El Paso apparently is not that bad. Because there's actual wall there, and the human trafficking isn't bad. Whatever. It's like it's not like a hot spot for all the issues that we think of when we think about the Mexican border. So she finally goes. Well, what are all the Republicans doing? Well, she didn't even go to the right spot. Well, all right, guys. Like, I get it. She didn't go she didn't go to like the hot spot, but like you've been bitching about her for 93 days to go to the border, and she went. And like, but now because Donald Trump,
not where I would have
because
went.
Donald Trump is scheduled to go to the like the hot spot of the border with the governor like next week. So now Republicans are like, the only reason she went is because Trump's going next week, and she doesn't want him to go first, whatever. And I'm thinking like, well, yeah, obviously, like it's a political move because they're politicians and that's what they do.
Imagine that, a politician making a political move.
But like, she went. So like, she's been there. Like, if all you're doing is harping on her because she's not going, and also let's take a step back from the situation. Is the vice president showing up
Doesn't do anything.
to the border going to magically fix everything?
Does nothing.
It doesn't matter.
Actually, it probably makes things worse because now
Yeah.
there's an event,
Right.
which means there's going to be stupid people there
Right.
to get abducted, killed.
Yeah. So this is what I mean.
Burgled.
Like, we have to rip Republicans just as much as we rip Democrats here because I hate everybody. And it's like it is the truth. Like, what is the vice president showing up to
Nothing.
the border,
Does
regardless of where on the border she goes? What is her being there actually going to do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not one fucking thing.
So she
actually,
didn't-
they're going to give her a gun and she's going to fucking go protect the border.
Yeah. Oh, the cartels in Mexico are going to be like, ah, shit, the vice president showed up here. Nah, we can't cross.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing they could look at and go, all right, so for one day, there's going to be heightened security, so why don't we back off?
Right. You know,
That's really it.
like,
Or it's
Get
like,
fucked.
hey, everyone's going to be there. We'll go over there.
we'll go to the other place.
Yeah.
So,
We'll go to plan F.
yeah. Yes, people are fucking unreasonable, regardless. They all suck. Everybody sucks.
I suck.
Yes. All right, you want to wrap this up?
I did. I completely forgot my final thought.
Oh, I can go first if you need to think.
You're going to have to go first.
All right. So, my final thought is regarded to Raya and the Last Dragon, or Raya and the Last Dragon.
I don't even know what this is.
Disney Plus.
Okay.
It's a new movie that just came out.
Is it animated?
It is.
Okay.
Very fitting for the discussion we've had so far in this podcast. So I'll give you the cliff notes. So anyone that's listening or watching on YouTube, don't forget to click subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you're on YouTube. Yeah, I'm about to give some spoiler alerts here. So, 3, 2, 1, go fuck yourself. Here we go. So the movie is about this girl whose family is elected to protect like the last little like gem from the last dragon ever. The dragons used to protect their land and now they're all gone. And they talk about how like once upon a time, like everybody in this world used to live together as like one people. And then when the dragons sacrificed themselves to save the people. And instead of being happy and living in harmoniously, the people started fighting each other for the last little like pearl or whatever the fuck it is from the last dragon that like saved the world. So the moral of the story is people suck. Like from the very opening scene, like the main character Raya is a little girl, and she's like playing with this other little girl from a different district in where they're at. And I saw right through it at the beginning because I'm a cynic and I hate everybody and I think most people are idiots. I go, oh, you can't trust this bitch. Like she's gonna take her because she took her to where like the last relic from the dragon is that everyone is fighting over. And I go, she's about to get fucking beat. So she goes, she gets there, and then the fucking girl turns on her. And there's a big fight, and the last relic from the dragon gets split into a bunch of different pieces, and every little region, the people take it for their own region. And by doing that, it brings back all these, like, evil things that were like killing everybody and turning people to stone, whatever. Which is why the dragons sacrificed themselves to save the people in the first place. So the whole thing is the people suck. People are the worst kind of people. You can't fucking trust people, and people are selfish generally, and they only want to better themselves and protect themselves. And by the end of it, you know, they all come together and it's a fucking happy ending because it's a Disney movie, and they figure it out. But I think it's very appropriate for this episode. And just as I was watching, I was like just picking up on these themes. Like, oh yeah, look, this is showing you that like you can't really trust people because people suck. And the dragon, the one dragon that comes back. So Raya works with this one, the last dragon, to save the world and bring all the other dragons back. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But the last dragon is like kind of like the runt of the family. Obviously, again, this is a Disney movie. Keep this in mind. So I look at it like I'm watching it, and like all these dragons have like really cool powers because she's talking about like her brothers and sisters that have all these powers. This is the dragon, and so they ask her like, "Oh, what's your power?" And she goes, "I'm a really good swimmer." So she's like the loser
Rudolph.
dragon. Yeah.
The Rudolph dragon.
So I was like, all right, cool. So we got like a Dragonite here. So we have the Dragonite Pokemon that has to try and save the world. That doesn't really do much. She has no real power, but somehow they put it all together and they do it. They figure it out. All things considered, it was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. I would recommend it. Like if you're bored and you have Disney Plus and you're like looking for something, it's cool. It's a fun movie. It's probably only an hour and a half, roughly, maybe 2 hours. But it is a good movie. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I would watch it again. But I just laughed and thought it was hilarious that like the whole like first 45 minutes of the movie is like reinforcing about how people suck.
I also would like to comment on how people suck. So, played another tournament on Monday, and another group got dinged for slow play, the group ahead of us.
Yeah.
So, our event series has a bulletin board, or like it's really a forum.
Yeah.
So, you can go in there and you can comment whatever. So, we got dinged at the Bay Club, and it's very simple. We have pace of play rules. Right. You either have to play in 4.5 hours, or within 15 minutes of the group ahead of you.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's all it is. It's black and white.
Right. If
you play in more than 4 hours and 4.5 hours, and the group ahead of you finishes more than 15 minutes ahead in front, it's a penalty.
Right.
That's it. It's a penalty. Done. Whatever. Keep your ass moving.
Right.
So what I have found is that when people get dinged for slow play, they will come up with any other solution to this problem that isn't a problem.
Yeah.
Other than playing faster.
Right.
Every other they will do whatever else
except
acknowledge that they need to play faster.
Yeah.
It's, well, what if we did this? What if we did that? Maybe the tour needs to consider this. I don't know about that. Blah, blah, blah. No. You just got to play faster.
Just play faster.
Because we got dinged at the Bay Club. I go, so someone asks, like, oh, what happened? I go, well, my contribution, because I was in the foursome, was that a lot of my putts, like my lag putts, I had to throw a mark down again. I didn't have a lot of kick-ins or tap-ins, whatever. That adds time. Right. No problem. But that's in the course of play. I go, in my group, these things happened. Guy took 2 work calls.
Yeah.
3 of us teed off on 1 hole. Guy sitting in the car goes, "Oh, did you guys tee off yet?" "Yeah, motherfucker, we already did."
Yep.
Still sitting in the cart. 2 guys lost wedges. 2. And then 1 guy thought the other guy stole his wedge.
Sick.
Then 1 guy's just slow. I mean, it is what it is. Guy's just slow.
Right.
And then another guy, like, because it was cart path only, he brought 8 clubs with him.
Jesus. Fuck.
Because it was across the fairway.
That's more than half the bag.
8 clubs with them.
You're only allowed 14.
Yep. One's a putter, one's a driver.
Yeah.
Yeah. 8 clubs with them. "Oh, hey, Bobby, could you grab my pitching wedge? I didn't bring it with me." Dude, you have 8 fucking clubs.
Yeah.
Why the fuck do you need a pitching wedge?
Knock down a 9 iron.
It's a fucking it was like a layup on a par 5.
Yeah.
"Oh, I brought 8 clubs and none of them are right." Like, what the fuck? Like, that's how, like, slow play happens.
Right. Right.
So the group ahead of us got hit for it. And, like, dudes are, like, flipping out. Like, one guy gave an entire recap of his round. He's like, "I shot 105. I only lost 1 ball. It was on the 17th hole. I hit into 4 bunkers. I was out of each bunker 4." I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
then clearly you didn't do anything wrong. You're slow. That's
Right.
what it is. The 4 of you are slow.
Right.
You play too slow. That's it.
Right.
Done deal. But fucking nay, the excuses that these people come up with and, like,
Yeah.
the solutions, if I told them, if you don't cure cancer, you're going to be considered a slow golfer, they'd have it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Like, anything but not to be considered a slow player.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well,
like-
I'm not slow.
I'm not slow. I don't know how we were off pace.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like, one of the guys goes, "Well, I don't know how we were off pace. The group ahead of us, we saw the group ahead of us on 18. No, you didn't.
Right.
Because the group ahead of you played in 3 hours and 55 minutes and you played in 4:35. That's 40 minutes.
Right.
So, if you saw that group on that hole, what happened?
Yeah. What did you do for 40
Because
minutes?
it took you 40 minutes to play 1 hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, "Oh, well, we couldn't find where Paul was for scoring." Dude, it took like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. So I would just, people suck. And if you want something accomplished, tell a golfer, "Hey, you're a slow fucking player."
Yeah.
Unless you do X, and then they'll figure out X.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll figure it out.
Because they'll do anything except admit that they're slow.
Yeah. People suck. Don't ever forget that. And that's going to do it for us. You know what doesn't suck, though, is mybookie.com. So make sure you go over there and use our promo code SarcasmPod when you sign up, and they will match your initial deposit for 50% up to $1,000. So that's mybookie.com, promo code SarcasmPod. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Again, make sure you click the thumbs up, give us a subscription, keep telling everybody about the show, write some comments underneath right over there. And you can subscribe to us wherever you're listening as well. If you're on the Apple, if you use Apple products, go to the iTunes store, give us 5 stars, write us a review over there. Again, I don't care what you write in the review because I probably won't read it anyway. Just tell me how much you hate me. It's fine. Not going to hurt my feelings. Keep spreading the word. Keep telling everybody you know about the show. Chances are, if you like it, the people that you hang out with might like it too. You can find us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. We're on Twitter at Sarcasm_speaks, and the Facebook page is Sarcasm Speaks. So until next time, good night.